Hey everybody, DiveGirl Deb here. Today I want to talk a little bit about making cages and what do you do with wire. Well, I actually had a roll of wire that I bought it last season, and I think it's a 100-foot roll. And so what I did is I attached it to the T-post here and I rolled it out over here all the way over to the spa. And I had the roll sitting here for a long time. And the reason is because I didn't want to have to cut it because I didn't want to waste a bit, but I did go ahead and cut it. Because I think from right in here over can get used for a tomato cage. So let's go look at that real quick. So let me back up a bit. Like, why would I not have wire here? Well, there's a set of French doors that are going to go right across here eventually, and then it'll have framing right up to the spa. So the fencing is going to end right over on that side of the walkway over there and run down that planter bed right here and in over in there. And then the rest of that will be all chicken stuff. So any wire that I had left over here was all surplus. But I kind of didn't want to waste this chunk, but that's not going to get wasted. We'll see why later. Alright, so this morning I decided to make 3 of these 3-foot wide cages. And so it's a 3x3, so it's 3 feet wide and it's about 3 feet across. And I got 3 of them. And ironically, they take 9 feet to make one, so they're probably not quite 3 feet across. They're probably about 2.7 with pie and stuff. But this will be the inner ring for my MJ plants, and then there'll be an outer ring of the 5-foot tall stuff that comes up higher. So there'll be a big, here, so I can make that. There's a bigger outer ring going to go over that. So today I made 3 of these. So I took that roll of wire that was laying around and I made those up on the side of the house. So I rolled out the wire here and cut it to length in a nice clean area that was flat, that didn't cause any other plant disruptions to the garden. It's a good place to roll out the wire and get it figured out how I want to cut it. So this little corner bed here, which is kind of this little roundabout bit here, needs a support hoop. And so what I decided is to combine this area as well as my potato bin. So this is my little potato bin here on the patio. And so what I did is I took a roll of 3-foot wire and cut it in half. So this is about 18 inches high. And I've got 2 of them now. One of them's here, and the other is in the greenhouse. We'll have a look at that. But first I want to show you what I used to join some of these. And I want to go look at the bigger, full-size ones that I made. Alright, so these are the 3 of the 3-foot wide cages that I made. This is the second one, and there's a third one that goes over there that's in the greenhouse. But I kind of want to look at this for scale and stuff and figure out how I feel about it. It's going to be a really tight space at the end of the day. So I'm kind of looking at it all, moving it around. I like having the cages because it gives me kind of more of a 3D feel for it. But I'm definitely going to be planting on top of that slab. I don't know what the future of that slab looks like, but I can always plant on top of it, and I think that's what'll happen. So let's go look at the other cage that I have in the greenhouse. What do you think, George? Are you supervising? Yeah. What does a fat cat do all day? She finds a nice, comfortable place and sleeps. And she hangs around and supervises, right, baby girl? Alright. There's what a fat cat does. Oh, okay. Woo! I love you too, baby girl. So here's one of those. This is the third one of those really big hoops, those 9-foot sections of wire made into a hoop. And basically what I did here, I'm kind of thinking this one's going to move with the plants because there's 2 of them in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch the plant out, I think, horizontally. Because when you stretch it out horizontally, then you get individual little buds that come up. And I can snake that plant all the way around on the inside of this and attach it to that and get it to grow in a horizontal type of a garden. So here's the other little short one, the one that is going to end up living on that corner bed. And I really want to have it over in that bit, but I couldn't do it there because of all the lettuce, and I did something different. But here I've not yet done anything with that, but this is the other half, so basically 18-inch little hoop, and that works really nice, I can tell you. Oh, I'm going to show you guys. So one of the things you can do when you own rabbits is you can make your own cages, and rabbit people are ones who make a lot of their own cages. And so these are what are called a J-clip. And so this one, what I did is, because I had basically a butt where I had, you know, a square section of wire and a square section of wire, so I just bound them together with a J-clip here. And it works just fine. You know, depends on the tools that you have on hand as to what you're going to do, what you're going to use. It's a weaker connection than the connection I'm going to show you next. Alright, so this is more of a wire splice kind of connection, and you can see that, you know, I've got the wire wrapping around the 2 and splicing them together, and it's crimped up pretty tight. So this would be kind of a wire splice kind of thing. They all work. There's a couple different techniques. That takes the little J-clips and pliers, and they're really quick. So I like that technique. They're both available to you. I know how to do both, and I have the J-clips for each of them. Alright, here's a quick peek of the garden. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, go look at the new chicken wire. So basically, I did this wire thing. You know, you can see on the outside of the greenhouse, there's wire that runs all the way around the whole base of it. The whole base of the greenhouse has a 3-foot section of this 2-inch by 4-inch wire. Basically, it's a great trellis. Now, metal galvanized wire emits a lot of zinc and iron into your garden. And it also can change the electrolysis around the plant. So putting a cage around your plant like this can change the electrical signal. Plus, as you water, the mineral exchange happens, and that drip of minerals happens here, and it actually will feed your plants, ironically enough. They've looked at like blackberries that were grown along a fence line, and blackberries grow immensely bigger there, and they're more nutrient dense because of the mineral leaching off of the fence line. There's some wisdom from me from old farmers. Alright, so this kid, what I did is, you can see now there's several shoots coming off here. And so if I take this and pull it out vertically, then she's going to send off shoots on all of those. So basically what I did is just did a big loop around here. It's very loose, and I put a knot in the end and ran it through the middle, and it doesn't have much tension on it, you can see, but it's enough to just kind of suggest and pull that over, because when I transplant that later, I kind of want it to be in that position, because I'm going to wrap them around the inside of these wire hoops. So let's go look at the rest of the wire, okay? So I made 3 of those 3-foot cages. I did, I think that's a 2-foot cage that I cut in half, so I made 2 of those. So there's one there, and there's one out by the potatoes. Well, and I started looking at this wire, trying to decide, would it be enough to get this project done that I think it would, and I thought it would be pretty close. And I was a professional estimator in my last job. So what I did is I made some loops at the end of the wire here and added some screws and screwed it. And basically what I did is I screwed it at an angle. Here's a corner of a wall like this, and so I screwed it right in the middle so that it goes past the trim boards right into the foundation. And I've got a wood deck here. So what I did is I just pushed the fencing down and screwed it right down close. And then I pulled it tight in the back here to see where I was going to go. So this T-post was already here because it connects with this overhead trellis here for the it's kind of weird little watering system here for my potatoes. And so I decided to go ahead and keep using this T-post. And I knew that I wanted the fence to stop doing this kind of angle and to come over here and become a hard angle, so that I had a little more yard to use on this side. And so this is going to give me a straight run, and it runs right behind the barbecue house. So then I took that wire and I pulled it straight all across here. Now I've got this plum branch in the ground with some tar paper around it. I'm probably going to move it. Eventually this will have a gate here. It's going to have a nice little gate here to control this little pasture. But today what I did is I just drove our lovely T-post. This is a nice big, I think this is probably a 125 or a 133. It's a nice big heavy gauge metal. And of course, you know, I want to pull tension towards me and then towards me this way. So I drove it at an angle like this and wrapped my wire around it. Put some clips on there. I want the clips on there because I want to just force the wire straight down, because those guys like to go under. Now, why did I make the upgrade? Well, number one, this is a temporary position until I finish the build here. And we'll talk about that maybe later, but it's going to push the wire in the ground so they'll stop going under. Now, every one of these joints right here is welded or soldered, okay? If you look at chicken wire over there, that's not the case. So new fence here, water there. Eventually this little shelf thing goes away, but I can still get a wheelbarrow through here easily, which is going to be nice. This is really going to be the new fence line that's going to come. Well, eventually it'll hit here and then jog over there probably. But I'm so happy. Huh, George? Because now I can clean up and excavate this part of the garden. And so this becomes a bigger chunk of the backyard that I take away from the hens. And Yeah, so that's really cool. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to take out this fence right now because this fence still needs to undergo some construction because I'm going to do some wooden posts here and I'm going to do a board across the bottom with this fencing all framed in and a board across the top. I guess this kind of show you basically what I want to do is a board across the bottom, board across the top, fencing in between. And so then I can do whatever I want on either side, but the chickens really can't go under it because there's a ledger board across the bottom, nice big spanner supports across the top, keep the wire tight. But essentially this is what that fence is going to look like. Anyway, I gotta say that I was really stoked to get 3 inner hoops out of those and to get this new fence line established. Bada boom, bada bang. And man, I didn't really even expect this part of the project to come up right now. So things just keep happening. I think at the end of the day what's gonna happen is this fence right here is gonna come out, and then I'm gonna yeah, it's gonna come out. I don't think it's gonna stay like I was thinking. That's all right. But eventually, you know, the fence will drop in right here and run right this way. And I'll have a gate right here, chink-a-chink, and it'll go up and over and then connect into that post. There's a wiggly cat. Yeah, a wiggly cat. There's a little wiggly cat. Hi, George. You're a good girl. You're a goofball. But I'm so excited because, you know, at the end of the day, I got 3 cages and I made 2 shorts, and then I ran the wire and look at this. That's how much extra I had. I mean, my Lord, that is amazing. I estimated that pretty tight, don't you think, George? That's tighter than a fur on your butt. You nut job. But yeah, that's how much extra I had, literally right there. So it worked out beautifully, beautifully, beautifully. And the cages are kind of a bonus. I still have more wire. There's another roll on the side of the house over there, and then there's that new 5-foot roll over there as well. So, alright, so my video's gone very long and I'm sorry. But I'm really excited because I got this new fence line, little zigzag fence, which is going to mean a little bit bigger garden right in here I got to take advantage of. And very, very, very likely I'm going to have very few escapes. Alright, so what happens to chicken wire? Well, if you look at the essence of chicken wire, you kind of have like a couple of loops of it, or one loops over the other. Well, if you put this under tension, these loops right here, they just come unwound, and then the whole thing just springs open, and then there's a hole and a bird goes poof right through. So I'm upgrading to, you can compare the wire sizes to each other. Alright, so there's a single wire on the left from the poultry wire, which I think is like, geez, like 28 gauge. So the bigger the number, the smaller it is. That's like a 28 or something. 28, I think. And then this is a 16 gauge. Very thick. Very thick. And it's welded at the joints, so it's not going to come unraveled. Much better wire. Much longer lasting. No escapes. No one's going to like go through this wire. That's for sure. I'm really happy. What do you think, kiddo? Huh? Meow. There's a cat. There's a cat. All right. So, Go out there, poke around your garden. Oh, let's look at today. So today, I took, last thing real quick. I took my little onion sets and I got those all placed into the garden. Lots of nice, beautiful onions for drying for later. Okay, so, yeah. Wire happened today. It makes me really happy. And little tykes like her can stay on the other side of the fence now. I'm DiveGirl Deb, and this is George. And we're gonna sign out now. Alright? Alright. Get out there, have fun with your projects. For real. You know? Go buy some materials and toss around the yard and see what happens. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.